Good evening, everyone. This is Royce Miller. Coming back at you with, not quite, not a let's try, but, okay, we'll call it what it is. It's an unboxing. It's been a while since I did one of these. I'd actually meant to do this back when I was staying with my family in Iowa. But now that I'm back in the Great White North, I may as well do it here. Honestly, I considered not doing this given certain events surrounding the person, but, one of the people in question here. But we'll come to that. We'll get to that when we get to that, if we get to it at all. Today on the docket, we're unboxing Batgirl from the Gallery collection. This lovely piece has the new Batman Adventures version of Batgirl, one of the better designs of the character. I picked this up at Jay's CD and Hobby in Des Moines. Lovely store, love it to pieces. I go there whenever I can when I'm visiting family. Now, it's not uncommon for superhero statues to have scenic bases. For those that don't know, a scenic base is a base that gives that is within the design of the statue. So one of the most famous examples in my mind is how Bardic Broadcast's various statues. He's got his little fairy statue that sits on a bag of coins, which he lovingly calls his only 1-to-1 statue, 1-to-1 scale statue. Then he has his Conan the Barbarian statue, which is thundering through a ancient ruin, the bodies of the long dead clattering away under his foot, and then he's got a Red Sonja statue where she's just cleaved a snake in two. But anyway, come on now. Gotta be careful here. I don't want to break it. Oh, it's taped. Why didn't you tell me? A lot of people were really concerned about my post yesterday. Well, this morning for me, yesterday for you. Because I was rambling a bunch. And no, that's not... And people thought I was high or something, that I had taken edibles. That those gummies I had THC oil in them. No, I've never gotten drunk, never gotten high. That's just how my brain works. And I was really tired, so I was kind of talking way too much. If you give me time to write down my thoughts, I sound a lot more coherent. But, I don't know, just look up my conversations with, say Podcast and Die on Twitter. That showcases a lot of the ideas I was talking about yesterday a lot better than I can. And the problem is that tonight's supposed to be my Friday night. It's actually my Thursday night. My weekend got pushed back a day this week, so I'm kind of bleh. A little tired, more tired than usual. Anyway, let's talk about this puppy. Batgirl just absolutely caving in poor... Well, I was going to say Basil Karlo, but this is actually Matt Hagen, who I believe is original to the... Well, not... I believe he's... The identity of Clayface is not original to Batman, but the character who became Clayface is original to Batman. Similar to how in The Batman, the 2005 animated series, Clayface was a cop who got poisoned by Joker. This version of Clayface was was turned into a monster because he became addicted to this face sculpting chemical created by Roland Daggett, who in that show was kind of a Trump XP. Like Ed Asner voiced him, so he had a very gruff voice, and then he like had a very he had kind of like that Trump-esque comb over and stuff. And like, look, this was before he got into politics. Okay, this was back when he was just a businessman that people made fun of for having bad products. Anyway, but let's talk about the statue here. This is based on holiday nights when Batgirl is in a department store and sees a bunch of little kids running around stealing stuff. Well, it turns out these kids are actually Clayface having divided himself up. Okay, now I gotta explain what Clayface and his powers for those who don't know. Okay, so if you've only ever seen like the live action films, prepare for some weirdness. Clayface has the ability to shapeshift. The original Clayface was an actor named Basil Karlo, a play on Boris Karloff, which kind of plays into his shapeshifting abilities. But anyway, basically, he gets in the comics. He gets whichever Clayface gets like usually somehow gets exposed to like some kind of enchanted mud or something, and becomes a shapeshifting golem made of clay. And so in the new Batman Adventures, Clayface had learned how to divide himself up and keep a singular consciousness. The new Batman Adventures sequel to Batman the Animated Series. Good lord. I thought I'd just be talking about Batgirl here. Now I'm explaining all this different stuff. But anyway, it's a very lovely dynamic pose. Just look at how awesome it is. She's just like, you have the splatter here, you have Clayface's jaw just going, Grr. It's it tells a story. It is the implied narrative. We are seeing Batgirl in the middle of a great caper with her body just perfectly she is a human rocket just propelling right into Clayface's jawline, knocking out the mud monster. As Harvey Bullock, who's... Oh, Lord, do I have to explain Harvey Bullock to you people? Good. I need to know how many of you know Batman, because, if I have to explain all this stuff, I'm gonna be here a while. Anyway, but her cape is flying, and, this is why it benefits from being a cartoony piece, because the dynamic pose and the rigid outline really lends itself well, because, a realistic cape would feel a little weird being in this pose. Realistic hair would be almost impossible to model in this pose. But because it's the cartoon version, you're allowed to have much more freedom with it. And I am a fan of stylization over realism. Now, I don't really like a lot of the designs of the new Batman Adventures because they changed a ton of designs from Batman the Animated Series. Obviously, the worst one is the Joker. They give him these black beady eyes and remove all the color from his face and hair so that he's just got this black hair with stripes of green as highlights and then just this completely white face. He looks like someone choked an Animaniac. But I will admit that the new Batman Adventures are a lot better animated because it is a more simplified design. However, there is a style to the original series. But I will say one of the few really good updates is Batgirl herself. Gone is the gray and blue. In is this lovely black piece with the gold highlights and the blue cape. It is just perfect. Just chef's kiss. And also, she's the only one who gets a decent bat symbol. Because, my biggest complaint with especially Batman's design is they replace his classic gold emblem or yellow emblem with the bat sigil on it with a single black bat across his chest, and it looks terrible. It looks like a kindergartner drew it. But even if it did look better, it would still be very bland to me. I like the Michael Keaton bat symbol. Like Michael Keaton, Adam West, they both had a big symbol on their chest that told people, "I am Batman." Because I'm like, oh well, it's not realistic. It's a show where a college kid is punching the lights out of a actor who got turned into a mud monster by frickin' Botox. That's Matt Hagen's thing in the show. Oh, also he's voiced by Ron Perlman. So just imagine Hellboy's voice coming out of this mug. Uh, and then, of course, this version of Batgirl specifically was voiced by Tara Strong. Now, unfortunately, Tara Strong has come under some fire recently. She's been vocally supportive of certain things that may not, I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. The Israel-Palestine conflict is beyond me, okay? Because if you support one side, you're Islamophobic. If you support the other side, you're anti-Semitic. And, I'm just some idiot, okay? Don't hurt me. So we're going to ignore the voice that came out of her mouth and just say that there's some weird things going on right now in the world of Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, X. No, I'm not calling it X. F you, Musk. Yeah, that's not controversial, right? People don't worship Elon Musk anymore, right? Anyway, but also what I really like is that it's got a very firm base, and her leg is very firmly planted. Like there's no jiggle here. I can hold her by her waist if I wanted to. Also, yes, we can talk about, booty, brr. No. That's not the part I'm looking at. I'm looking at this, which I know her back's facing me, but I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at this awesome, colorful, dynamic pose, and it is going to hold a place of honor among my DC shelf with some of the elites, like Scarecrow and Lois Lane and Death from Sandman. Except she's dressed as a World War II nurse. Except because of how World War II nurses dress, she kind of looks like Jackie Kennedy. Apparently, Jackie Kennedy's maiden name was Jackie Onassis, and some people call her by that name, which is really weird to me because, I've always known her as Jackie Kennedy. Of course, oh my god, I'm just thinking now about... So, I was watching that Tasting History with Max Miller. No relation. And he did the Kennedy assassination, what Jack had for breakfast that day. And talking about, how Jackie Kennedy was kind of the first, one of the first anyway, celebrity, not celebrity, but one of the first, sure you're getting the president, but you're also getting his first lady. Even though JFK's numbers had plummeted shortly before the election, and Jackie was actually still very well liked by the American public. I mean, but, honestly though, goddamn Jack, why'd you have to sleep with so many women? Your wife loved you. Anyway, look, he was probably a chill dude, but all that stuff with Marilyn Monroe and that mafia chick. Again, this is the kind of stuff I think about when I'm tired. I'm trying to talk about Batgirl having a cool fight with a classic Batman villain, and instead I'm talking about the Kennedy assassination and why Jack was way too mean to his wife. But no, I really do like this. There's so many good shapes in this. This hand is so well crafted, and this jaws. And I know some people out there are probably thinking it looks cartoony, but that's okay. It's stylized, and because of that, it will look good, no matter what. It's okay if the sculpt is a little off or the paint's a little off, because that's just part of the animation style. All I will say, oh no, that was just a dust mote. Also, I should thank my grandma Nancy. I love you, Grandma. She sent this home with my brother because I forgot it. Oh god, this. I, I hate how big this hand is, though, just because it makes me think it's like a baby's hand almost. Oh lord. Although speaking of like realism, it's used for some grotesque details. Like you can see the nail and some of the wrinkles on Clayface's thumb here. Oh, what's this? Diamond Select Toys made in China. Well, no shit. I thought I could see a manufacturer's date on the bottom here. And it's made of a hard plastic, I believe, which is a little interesting because I do believe most of these are made of most of these are made of what's the word? Like not resin, but something similar to it, where it's almost like a where it's almost like it's a cast stoneware kind of thing. Anyway, let's put you where you belong. We'll move Waylon for a little bit, and there you go, right alongside the elite. Oh, you'll know Killer Croc at least, right? He was in the Suicide Squad. Oh, I'm sorry, Oscar winner Suicide Squad. Oh, I hate that it won an Oscar. I hate that it's one of the only superhero films that's won an Oscar too. This is Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, voiced by Steve Bloom in Batman Arkham Asylum. In the game, he's one of the scariest bosses. Watch my playthrough for more on that. Still. Now he's way. So, unfortunately, because of how these plastic shelves are, I kind of have to weigh her down with Killer Croc because she is a little off balance, unfortunately. Like, just due to how she's leaned. It's a great piece, but maybe it does have a little trouble balancing. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. Y'all have a good one. Hopefully I'll be able to record some actual videos. Hopefully I'll be able to actually record some more videos, or videos, and not just us try to... And hopefully I will be able to get my shit together and film a slew of videos so that I can release at my leisure and not be panicking at the last minute having to film the video. Like, I was already going to do this video, but it shouldn't have been so last minute. I should have had time to prepare. Anyway, y'all have a good night. This is Royce Miller. I'm outie.